Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Are you ready? All right. So in case you couldn't figure out from the beginning of this video, we're going to be talking a little McDonald's and a little Wendy's right now because as I'm sure some of you are aware, Wendy's is currently doing a collaboration with SpongeBob SquarePants, who's in the kitchen right now whipping up a bunch of Krabby Patties. Then you also have McDonald's, and I'm not sure what's going on over there. They're trying very desperately to get customers back. And right now, they even have this chicken Whopper. I'm not sure how many of you have tried that, but I've tried both within the last few days. And it's interesting because it's kind of like Wendy's has low-key declared war on McDonald's without McDonald's maybe fully realizing that that's what's happened. And I'm not really the kind of person who gets super crazy when it comes to oh man, this crazy collab is happening. Normally, if it's something that I like it. If it's something that looks interesting, I'm interested. Other than that, I don't go, oh man, look at that, SpongeBob SquarePants Krabby Patty, because I know it's not a Krabby Patty. But I mean, I'd heard a lot of people talk about it, and I was intrigued at the very least. And so I was like, why not? I'll go ahead and give it a whirl and see if, the hype is really there, which, I mean, it's just a burger. It's just a regular burger. I'll grant them that. I mean, whatever sauce they're using is a little different. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't do any research before this because I literally just tried that burger, I don't know, a couple hours ago, and I'm still kind of processing it. I mean, I wasn't really super impressed. I mean, it's just, your run-of-the-mill burger. But I mean, Wendy's is actually really good right now. I never really used to care about Wendy's. It typically was kind of one of the places that I went to just because it was open later than everybody else, especially once McDonald's was like, we're not going to be 24 hours all the time anymore. So where do I want to start with this? Okay, I'm not a big, how do I say this? I don't like Big Macs, and that's probably controversial. I know that your taste buds change every 7 years or whatever that urban legend is. That's kind of true. But I know your taste buds constantly change, and so your tastes in things will change. And I haven't had a Big Mac since I was a little kid, and I was like, maybe I like them now. Maybe it's possible. I'm the kind of person that doesn't I don't give up on something forever. I just give up on stuff for a while. So I was like, let me go ahead and give this thing another whirl. And I don't know. I watch a lot of channels where they do side-by-side comparisons and stuff like that. And so in my brain, I was like, you know what I got to do? If I'm going to get a Big Mac again, that means I got to try the chicken Big Mac, because in the back of my head, I kind of didn't think I was still going to like it. And so I was like, this is probably the only time that this is ever going to happen. And I won't lie, I didn't hate the Big Mac like I used to hate it, but it's still not for me. I'm also not a really big fan of Thousand Island, which is almost essentially what's on that burger. I know it's, their quote-unquote secret sauce. It's made slightly differently, but that's what they say. I mean, I need to see some documented evidence that proves that that's real. But I do know that I'm not a big fan of that sauce. And I'm also not really a big fan of pickles, and those are the two things that they really emphasize on that sandwich. And then if I didn't like the Big Mac, I was like, maybe, just maybe the chicken is where I'm messing things up. Maybe it's the chicken that I need to take into consideration. Nope, not even a little bit. If I had to say anything, I'd say that it was worse. I don't know how many of you have tried it. Let me know if you've tried it and what your thoughts on it were, or if you're a big Big Mac fan, if you're a Big Mac lover. Did it compare? Was it worse? Was it better? Were you surprised? Because I was surprised by how much worse it was. I was hoping that maybe it would actually be oh, wow, who would have thought this entire time it was just the burger that I didn't like? But it wasn't. So McDonald's has really just been kind of dropping the ball for a while. I feel like their menu's gotten really stale. And I get that that's how they started off, that they were all like, we make burgers and fries and we make them really good and really fast. That's cool. I've seen the founder. I've watched documentaries on it. I don't care how they started. You can't give me things and then take them away from me as often as McDonald's does. It hurts my feelings and it irritates me because most of the time that I go to McDonald's, it was for the other things that they don't have anymore. You remember the snack wrap? That was my jam. I loved snack wraps. Do you remember their chicken tenders that they used to have? They had a special name. It didn't matter. They don't exist anymore, but those were so good. I don't care who you are or what you say. You will never convince me that a McNugget is better than those chicken tenders were, because they were not. They still aren't. I still don't think chicken nuggets from McDonald's are even that special. If I'm being honest, I'd rather go get a bag of Tyson's chicken nuggets because I think they're superiorly better. Honestly, I think Wendy's chicken nuggets are better. You don't have to agree with me. That's what I think. It's true. But they just keep, and there for the longest time, they took away my beloved steak, egg, and cheese bagel. Like they just keep taking and taking and taking. And I just cannot deal with this anymore. And so every once in a while, I might get a craving because if you're unaware, surprisingly, if you get plain McDoubles, I'm sure it work great with cheeseburgers too, but maybe it's a meat proportion thing. So maybe you have to have a McDouble. I don't know. But if you get a plain McDouble, and then you get a side of their ranch and you dip it in there, that's magic. But I don't get a craving for that very often. So the most I go to McDonald's is when my son wants McDonald's. And that's it. I don't think their fries are better. I think everybody whose arguments that they have the best fries, you're wrong. That's crazy. They're not that great. They're okay. I used to work at McDonald's. I used to get them fresh. They're still mediocre fries. I'm not saying they're bad, but I don't think that they're great. And everybody gets crazy over McDonald's. And I really think a lot of it's just conditioning. McDonald's is really good at marketing. That's literally how they kept Burger King from taking them out. I was watching Food That Made America, and they were talking about that literally the Whopper was destroying McDonald's. And it wasn't until they came, I believe it was a secretary or something, that she came up with the idea for the Big Mac, or the name for it, one of the two. And that's the only thing that saved them, because the rest of their food's not that great. And I don't know how the Big Mac saved them, because it's not that great. But you know what? Different tastes for different people. That's fine. McDonald's is for some people. But my problem with it is I think a lot of it's just conditioning. They've tricked people into believing that they're amazing when they're okay at best. Even when you get everything fresh, it's still not the best fast food out there. I don't believe that even a little bit. And most of the time, you're not even getting them at their best. A lot of the time, you're getting burgers that have probably been sitting there for at least an hour. I used to work at McDonald's. I know how their food is made. I know what it's like to eat their food fresh off the line. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. There are going to be people who are you don't know what you're talking about. That's fine. You don't have to believe me. But I honestly don't think that they're that great. And then Wendy's. I never used to care about Wendy's. You know what my most Wendy's experiences were? Once upon a time, they used to make these pitas. And they broke my heart when they took those away. Because those pitas were phenomenal. That was one of my favorite things of my childhood. Is I remember very, very distinctly. My parents loved Wendy's. They loved it. They were like, ooh, I need a baked potato and some chili pronto. And they ate there so often. And the only reason that I ever got food there was because of those pitas. And they took them away. So maybe in protest in the back of my mind that I didn't realize I was doing, I didn't really go to Wendy's that often because I was like, oh, their burgers are square. I don't care. I'm not really like a fast food burger person for the most part. Like I get a craving for them, but I honestly think I make bigger burgers than most of these fast food places. It's just a convenience thing. If we're being honest, we all know it's true. It's a convenience thing. Most of us could probably make better burgers than most fast food restaurants. And that's real. That's a real fact. Sit down restaurants, different story. There's some really good places that are going to make you look pathetic. I mean, I went to a steakhouse not that long ago that I've never tasted steak like that. And I was questioning my entire existence of how I've been making steak after that. But back to the point. Wendy's, it's like, I'm telling you, it's like they're low key. Like, okay, so McDonald's was doing that they had some deal there for a while where it was like a $5 deal. I don't even remember what it was because I don't go there that often. Then they had, you could get like a burger and fries or a McChicken and fries. It was like something for $3. I don't remember. Again, I don't go. I just remember seeing it all the time. And then they used to have their dollar any size drinks. And like they were doing everything that they could to try to keep people in their seats, going through their drive-thru, eating their food. They were doing everything that they could because they're losing money because people are realizing that most of the time it's cheaper to eat at home. And a lot of the time it tastes better. And a lot of the time it's better for you, because fast food is garbage. Let's be real. The reason that they look so pretty on camera is because they do a lot of manufacturing with glue and toothpicks and lighting and painting. You know that they paint on burgers? Did you know that that's a thing in those commercials? None of that's real. It's not real. So anyway, Wendy's, like, I don't know what's going on, but like they got this collab with SpongeBob and the Krabby Patty that's making people lose their minds. I've literally seen people freaking out. I saw people like, I don't know if any of you are aware of what it was like when the Beatles came to America and women were like fainting on the streets because of them doing this. That's the same kind of vibe that I was getting from people who were talking about the Krabby Patty coming to Wendy's. And again, it's not the Krabby Patty. Like in the show, I think they even talk about a portion of the burgers made of crab meat. I don't think anybody's ever going to know what the secret ingredient is because it probably doesn't exist. It's probably not a real thing. Maybe it is. I don't know. I've never watched SpongeBob enough to know that. I only watched it when I was a kid and I watch it whenever my son has it on. But it's just a burger. They slapped Krabby Patty on there and people lost their minds. Sure, it's teensy bit different. They put a secret sauce on there and you can get a special Frosty with it, which I want to say, I didn't get that Frosty because they were like, oh, we're out of that. And I was like, how convenient. That's how crazy people are going for this. That it's not even been a thing for that long and they're already out of it. Like, that's bananas to me. And then I just saw a commercial the other day and now they're advertising every size drink for $1. I was like, that's really interesting. I've heard this before. Then they have the biggie bag. They have the 4 for $4 this year. Then they've also got a phenomenal breakfast. Like, I don't know if you've had Wendy's breakfast, but if you haven't, get there and get some. I'm telling you, like, when they were advertising it, when it first came out, I was so intrigued because they were offering things that not a lot of other places have. Like, their sandwiches were different. Like, they also have frosty coffees, which is wild. And I'm telling you, if you've never been there, like, they have this, I believe it's a breakfast baconator. Oh my gosh. And then their seasoned fries are so much better than any hash brown that you've ever had at any other fast food restaurant. And don't you dare come at me with, oh, McDonald's hash. They're not. They taste like nothing. They're so not good. I don't care what you're talking about. And you can go buy those at Aldi and probably make them better. I'm just telling you that right now. Like, the seasoned fries at Wendy's are superior to anything that I've had potato-wise at any other fast food restaurant. So get there, try some. You won't regret it. I'm telling you, it's so good. But like McDonald's is just like stagnant now. Like they just every once in a while they're like, oh, I guess we're bringing those bagels back. And then did you see that their bakery, they completely changed? They don't have any of the bakery stuff that they used to carry, which sure, maybe it wasn't selling super great, but it's like that's all McDonald's does. They give you something great. They give it to you for a very short amount of time. They make you completely fall in love with it. And then they give you the hope that it'll come back one day. But most of the time it doesn't. You know how long it's been since I've had a snack wrap? It's not okay. I'm not okay. The world is not okay. The reason that everybody's probably so angry with each other is probably because McDonald's keeps taking stuff away from us. Think about that. But anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you tried either of these? Have you tried any of the chicken Big Macs? Did you like them? Were you disappointed? Krabby Patty meal. Did it live up to the hype? Were you disappointed? Because I saw a couple people review it and they were like, yeah, it's nothing special, which is exactly what I thought. But I was kind of curious because they did mention that there was a different sauce on there. And I was like, well, I'm at least curious how it tastes because I'm like that. Like I'm the kind of person that if I see a building being built, when it's done, I have to go inside and see what it looks like. I'm weird like that. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but when I see something new, I'm like, I have to see what it's like. I need to at least experience it. Even if I don't do it all the time, or if I get to, like when like a new phone is like, I'm not crazy like that, but like every once in a while, like something comes out and I'm like, I want to try that. I want to eat that. I want to go there. And, you know, maybe the Krabby Patty is better to everybody else than what I thought. Maybe everybody else thinks that it's the greatest thing since the Beatles. I don't know. But, you know, I'll let you guys decide. What do you think? And also, can somebody start a petition to bring back the pitas? Can somebody do that for me? Because then Wendy's, I won't even remember who McDonald's is. Baby, I'll delete her from my phone. Until next time.